What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Full Blitz Podcast. I am your host, Easy. With me, as always, is the digital god, Louis himself.
What's poppin'?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
Chilling, man. You know,
Yeah, how's your week been
enjoying
going?
the SoCal weather. Good,
You know
productive,
something?
man. Got a lot going on.
I am so tired of
I
hearing
didn't
about
mean
this.
to rub it in your face.
It's snowing here in Birmingham again. Like,
Oh man, I'm
and
sorry.
he just over here, enjoying this 75-degree weather.
It
you know?
was like 60. It's like 62, 63. Sunny.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying that weather. I hope all of y'all are enjoying whatever weather you have wherever you are. If you are not yet, make sure to follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, the Full Blitz Podcast. Check us out on TikTok because it is back. For how long, we don't know. We also on Instagram, and we do have a Facebook page coming soon. So when that drops, we will let y'all know. We'll be posting the show's information, content, and everything there. But make sure to check us out on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts at. All my small businesses, we say it every week. We're going to say it again. If you are looking for some free advertisement, please shoot us an email, fullblitzpodcast@gmail.com, which company's name, information, services y'all provide, and where you are located. And we will write a free 30-second ad for your company to help small businesses push what they got going, because we all got bills and we all trying to pay them.
No, that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I feel it.
I've had a little bit of time off, and one of the things I wanted to do is try to catch up on some movies that I haven't really seen in a minute, or ones that I haven't seen. And I decided I was going to watch some of the older sci-fi movies. Alien, Predator, some of them classic 80s sci-fi movies. And what's crazy is with the advancement of technology, sci-fi movies, they kind of suck now.
What you mean? How?
So think about it, right? When we watched The Predator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, cock dieseled up, and then we saw The Predator. That was makeup. That was special effects.
Yeah.
Nowadays they just want to put little dots all over your face and CGI everything. It's not
CGI.
Cool. Like when I saw Aliens for the first time and I saw the alien, it scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah, there's also a method to it too. Like, you didn't see the alien until close to the end of the movie.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying? It was like shadows and sounds, and then they showed you.
And they had the build-ups, the 80s sci-fi movies. Like, you were right, thinking about it. You hear the breath of the alien. You see the tail. You see the acid that it drips and it burns everything.
Yeah,
but you don't really see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you see the thing burst out of his chest and everything, man.
Yo, that series is so crazy. It's such a good movie. Did you see, and you see how they're making the new ones, have you seen Romulus?
I have not seen Romulus yet. I still need to see that one.
But I heard that it was very well done.
And then
very good.
I think it's FX has a show. It's a series. I forget the name of it. My wife was telling me about it. I gotta watch that one too. But I think the reason I don't watch them no more is because I feel like technology has given these movie people almost a copy. Now look, I'm gonna say, let me say, I have no idea what it takes to make a damn movie. Okay,
right.
I am talking completely out of my ass right now. So who knows? But I liked it when the shit looked real.
Yeah, there's something about that, like animatronics and makeup, the old Werewolf in London.
Yeah,
where it was like when he started transforming, it was like an actual person in. Well, actually, I think it was an animatronic doll they used to for some of the parts where his body was changing, but it's a physical thing, and it is different.
Looked cool.
Your brain knows when it's CGI. Your brain can see it, and it's like something's off.
You know,
That's
like
why bad CGI is so bad.
But you know something? There are some movies, especially with like sci-fi. Like, so I would say like Sharknado is sci-fi.
Don't they have like 3 of those already?
But they got like 7 of them. I don't know who keep greenlighting them, but I mean, hey, people
somebody
keep
making a bag.
Look, those were what was the sci-fi network?
It was sci-fi.
Was it sci-fi?
It was called sci-fi, yeah. And it had like those scared shows.
Yeah.
Where they're like the prank shows where they're like scaring people and stuff. And that was all sci-fi.
Me and the wife used to watch the series they had called Face Off. And it was like special effects people and it was a competition.
Yeah.
Man, that show was dope.
Yeah.
That show was fire.
It is pretty crazy.
What's your favorite sci-fi movie?
Oh my God.
I hit
favorite sci-fi movie? First of all, I love sci-fi movies. That's like number 1. And then like a good comedy under that or like a psychological thriller. Those are like my top 3.
I like psychological thrillers.
Yeah. But favorite sci-fi like of all time?
And just so y'all know, he didn't know that we were doing this. I literally told him we was going to talk about movies real quick because I wanted his honest reaction.
All right. So they just dropped it. I think it's a 10-year anniversary. And it was out in theaters. I'm a little mad that I didn't go see it. They re-released it into theaters. But Interstellar.
Okay.
Interstellar. Right. It is a sci-fi movie.
It is a sci-fi movie. I think that's a little newer. I thought you were going to go something a little older.
I mean, like a good classic. I mean, if we're talking about classics, like what's the criteria when you say favorite? Like, was it the scariest? Because when I was a kid.
So when I think of a favorite movie, right? If somebody was going to tell you you could only watch one sci-fi movie for the rest of your life, what movie would it be?
It'd probably be Interstellar all the time.
Interstellar.
But if we're talking about classics, I'd probably say, man, this is so hard. I also haven't been watching movies. I'm not like movie brain right now.
That's why I didn't tell you. That's why I didn't want you to be able to go look up anything.
I feel like I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna remember a different movie later.
Oh, that's always how it works.
When I was a kid, Child's Play creeped me out.
Child's Play? Well, that's horror.
Play.
That's not sci-fi.
It is horror is sci-fi, no?
I mean, okay.
I mean, guess the doll was possessed. I mean, if that's not science fiction, I don't know what is.
I guess I think when I think of sci-fi, I think of something that deals with outer space
and stuff, right? Oh, you know what? See, I knew. I have a better one.
What you got?
It's kind of a corny movie, but it's an amazing movie. It's not really that old. It's not an old one. But have you ever heard of a movie called Valerian?
Valerian? Why does that sound familiar? What is that?
It's called Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets is the full title of the movie.
Now, I know I've never seen it, but just that maybe the term seems...
So if you're talking about graphics, the storyline, action... like everything. It's so good. It's just kind of corny because it's like, you could tell it's like for like a younger generation. But
there's nothing wrong with corny movies.
Yeah. It's got some super cheesy, corny stuff in it. But incredible sci-fi movie. That's definitely, besides Interstellar, I'd have to say.
I think if I had to really think about it, a sci-fi movie, because I'm not a big sci-fi dude. And if I had to go with something that was sci-fi, not like horror, because I could easily go Alien, but I think Alien's more of a horror. But I would probably go Pitch Black.
Oh,
the first of the Riddick movies.
Man,
probably one of my favorite Vin Diesel movies too.
Man, what? And then the Chronicles of Riddick.
The Chronicles of Riddick,
right? Was like that was the
sequel. I have never wanted to have shiny eyes
Yeah.
Like more.
What? And
Like,
oh
and
my God. That
Riddick
movie
was-
is so. Yo, Vin Diesel, bro. Vin Diesel. I know, like these Fast and Furious movies have become just ridiculous, but Vin Diesel got some bangers.
People forget how versatile. Like, so Vin Diesel was in Saving Private Ryan. He was in Boiler Room. He was in The Chronicles of Riddick.
Yeah, he was in Boiler Room.
Bruh, Vin
That's
Diesel has
right.
been in so many different movies. You know, and people get on him because he's been doing the Fast and the Furious movies, but he's making millions.
There was one recent movie that came out not too long ago when he was like, he died and like they brought him back and Peace turned him into like, do you know what I'm talking about? Oh man, I gotta look.
Oh man, he was in another one like where he was like a witch killer.
Oh yeah.
He's been in. He was Groot. People forget he was Groot.
Bloodshot. Have you heard
Bloodshot.
of Bloodshot?
Yes, I have. I have heard of that.
Such a banger. I think it came out in 2020.
See,
Crazy. Another one.
Now,
graphics, the action.
if you just want a movie to have a good time with and it's sci-fi, I don't care what nobody says. I get it's comedy, but it's sci-fi, and that's Spaceballs. Anybody that says that
Why
movie
did I
is not
know
sci-fi,
you were going to say that? That's exactly what came into my head when you said it. Spaceballs.
Spaceballs is where it's at.
It's ridiculous.
I will argue with
It's
anybody
so
that Spaceballs is the greatest sci-fi movie ever made. Mel Brooks is a genius. And,
Spaceballs. What do they call the Force instead of?
oh hell, I don't even. It's been, you know, something that's been so long since I've seen it. All I know is I love that John Candy is their version of Chewbacca, and it's a dog, and they're driving around in the galaxy in a fucking Winnebago or whatever it is.
Speaking of ridiculous sci-fi, and what's his name? What was his name again? What did you say? What's his
With
name?
John
again?
Candy?
John Candy, short dude with the glasses, right?
No, that's Rick Moranis.
Who's Rick Moranis?
Yeah,
that's who I'm thinking about.
I know exactly what you fitting to say.
You know what I'm about to say?
And I agree 100%.
Ghostbusters is what I was.
Oh,
about
you
to
went
say.
Ghostbusters? That's not Rick
He
Moranis.
also has what? Honey, I Shrunk
Now-
the Kids, Little Shop of Horrors.
He's got Honey, I Shrunk the
he's-
Kids. That's where I
Honey, I
thought you
Shrunk
were
the
going.
Kids is a banger. I was thinking about it.
Rick Moranis
That's probably-
he's not Ghostbusters.
Right.
You're thinking
No, yes, he is. Remember,
No.
he was the key master. He was the gatekeeper looking for the key master.
Oh, yeah.
That was him.
Damn.
Remember, he was running around town looking for, are you the key master or some
Yeah.
whatever? Are
That
you the
was
gatekeeper?
him.
Yeah. And at the
Damn.
end, when he turned into the demon and stuff.
Yeah, the
that's
little
that's
gargoyle or whatever it
That's
was.
why I thought about him.
Damn. See, that's what it is, man. See, so we're going to try to get some more stuff in like this for y'all, so we're not just beating y'all over the head with sports every show. You know, drop a comment on the YouTube channel. Let us know what y'all want us to talk about next, whether it's, you know, music, you know, favorite albums, favorite movies. We ain't doing favorite books because I don't read. I know he might read, but I'm from Louisiana. They don't teach us how to read. So I'm not.
Man, you read. Stop acting like you don't read.
I read symbols like circle, square.
Emojis and picture books.
Absolutely. But we fitting to get into these games, y'all. We're going to start with the college football playoffs championship that plays tomorrow night, which is Monday. So when y'all watch this, it'll be out already. But got to talk about it because I want to. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. But I think it's going to be a great game. I'm really excited to watch it tomorrow night. You know, there's a lot of really good players on both sides that I think are going to have a really good game. You know, Riley Leonard's thrown for almost 3,000 yards this year. You got Jeremiah Love rushed for over 1,000 yards. You know, Jaden Greathouse, you know, their number one wide receiver, you know, spent some time kind of really getting into the offense, but he's really starting to come around. You know, you got Xavier Watt, their safety on the defensive side, has got 6 interceptions. Jack Keiser has got 85 tackles, had a really good year. So, and then, of course, Ohio State's guys, I mean, Will Howard, tremendous year, almost 4,000 yards. Running back Henderson's almost 1,000 yards. Jeremiah Smith, who had a, almost pretty much non-existent game against Texas. I do think that will change. And then, of course, you got Simmons, their linebacker, with 104 tackles, and Burke with 2 interceptions, but that's okay. So I think it's going to be a great game. I'm excited to watch it. I'm excited to tell y'all next week what happened. But just to reiterate, we got Ohio State. Y'all can hear this again. We're going to rock with Ohio State, and that's going to be for the national championship. 2 great programs, Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Like I said, weren't going to spend a whole bunch of time on that because the game will have happened by the time y'all see this. But that's okay. Got to take a deep breath before we get into this, what I would call nonsense of a first divisional round playoff game. For the last, I'd say 5 years, right? Nobody really was tripping too much when Kansas City first started to kind of make their way towards this dynasty that we see now. But now we're at a point where I'm not a big one to say the NFL is rigged. I'm not a big one to say the NFL is scripted. I will say that because the NFL is entertainment, that small things, maybe refs or something like that, to maybe push the game in one direction or another does happen. And I think we've seen it a lot with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, just like we saw with Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. If you go back and you look at this game, Kansas City versus Houston, okay, we're going to start from the front. I understand they allow a 63-yard return on the opening kickoff, penalties that they did commit. I get that, right? When you put your opponent on, I think that was like your 17 or whatever to start the game, that's not a good start. But Kansas City gets the ball, 3rd down, and the Texans get the stop, and then a flag is thrown for roughing the passer. And they say that it was because of a shot to the head. But when you watch the replay, there's no contact to the head. His head never moves back in what would appear to be a blow to the head. But you get a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. They go down and score. That's momentum. Anybody that thinks football is not momentum-led, y'all are crazy. Okay? Then we get another play where Patrick Mahomes passes the line of scrimmage. So he is now a runner. Okay? But per the rule of the game, he is now a runner. And he's running around. And Patrick is like, the league, the committee has got to look at this. The rules committee has got to look at this. Quarterbacks cannot do this late slide anymore because players are in no man's land. What do? If they don't go to try to tackle them, are they going to slide? Are they not going to slide? If they do go to try to tackle them, you're throwing flags for unnecessary roughness. We got to get rid of this. You already make the game way too incredibly hard for defensive players. This league is so wildly set up for the offensive side of the ball that it's not even funny. But on this flag, he slides. I don't even know what you would call it. 2 defenders collapse on him, and the 2 defenders actually hit themselves. Their helmets hit themselves, which is what causes the noise. Again, when you look at the replay, Patrick Mahomes is never even contacted. He's never even hit. But they throw a 15-yard unnecessary roughness in a pivotal moment where Houston was getting ready to get the ball back. This has got to stop. We have got to stop favoring a team simply because they have popular players on the team. Now, I'm not saying Houston was going to win, right? When we look at it, Houston gave up 8 sacks, which is unacceptable. Okay? You cannot give up 8 sacks and expect to continue to win the game. CJ Stroud, had an okay day. 19 of 28, 245 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. But when you look at it, it's just they outgained Kansas City by over 100 yards. This is the first time in postseason history that a team has outgained the other team by over 100 yards, gave up no turnovers, and still lost. Part of that is because of the way that they played, but the other part, I think, is because the refs are throwing these flags in timely scenarios for Kansas City. Kansas City wins the game. They're going to go on and face Buffalo, or Buffalo's going to come to them. We're going to see how that game is called. I think the game against Houston publicly brought a lot of opinions to the way that these games are being called. And I think that, they're going to have a hard time trying to call like that. So we'll see what happens. And with Kansas City, I'm so tired of watching a Kansas City game and every 45 seconds, every 2 minutes, every commercial break, they're panning to Taylor Swift. I don't care. Football fans do not give a damn about Taylor Swift. You want to span to Caitlin Clark? Cool. Caitlin Clark was just voted Female Athlete of the Year. Caitlin Clark just brought an Indiana Fever team to the playoffs for the first time in forever. Caitlin Clark is one of the leading women, changing the way the WNBA is viewed. You want to span to her? Cool. Football is a sport. I'm over it. I don't care that Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift. I don't give a damn. I don't. Stop. I don't know. A game that and just so we know, I called that game right. I called Kansas City to win that game. I'm upset that they won it the way they did, but I did call that one. A game that I did not call correctly, and I'm 100% okay with, was the Commanders taking down the Lions. And I mean, what else can we say about Jaden Daniels? What else can we say about this kid who has made it the farthest that a rookie quarterback has made in the NFL? If he winds up beating Philly, he will be the first rookie quarterback to play to start in a Super Bowl. Like this kid is phenomenal. Jared Goff does go down, in the game, and he was out for a little bit, so that has a little bit to do with it. But I mean, Jared Goff also threw 3 interceptions. Jaden Daniels threw none. Jaden Daniels had 9 incompletions for 2. He went 22 of 31 for almost 300 yards. That's insane. This Washington offense blew it up in the second quarter with 28 points. And again, I said it last week. I've said it almost any time I've talked about Jaden Daniels. He has got to be one of the best young deep ball throwers we have had in the NFL in a long time. He is fearless. He is unafraid to throw the ball. 2, when he does throw the ball, he hits his target. This kid is phenomenal. He is obviously the offensive rookie of the year, and I think he should have been in the running for MVP. I don't know what to tell you. Washington defense stood up when it needed to stand up. They gave up 31 points. I don't think they're going to be able to give up 31 points against Philly and win, but we got more from that game coming later. Jahmyr Gibbs had a good game, ran for 105 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson added 77 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. St. Brown, 8 receptions, 137 yards. It's not like the Detroit Lions didn't try, but 3 interceptions is hard to overcome. The big play is hard to overcome. It's hard to beat a team when you give up, 28 points in the second quarter. You shut them out in the third, which was great, but then you gave up 14 points in the fourth quarter. So I think this defense is playing better than it has. And something, Jaden Daniels is so impressive to me that I think that, one, Chicago should have listened to a lot of people. A lot of people said Jaden Daniels was QB1 in this draft. And I think that, like always, it's happened to us as Titans. We got caught up in the pre-draft hype of Malik Willis. We got caught up in the pre-draft hype of Will Levis. We got caught up. Even going back, Zach Meckenberg, it's happened to us before. But Jaden Daniels was the clear QB1 in the draft. I don't know where anybody saw that Caleb Williams was a better quarterback than Jaden Daniels. I said it earlier. I've stood by it, and I will continue to stand by it. And the proof is in the pudding, y'all. Who you gonna argue with? You can't come in these comments and argue with me about nothing. Chicago supposedly had more weapons. Chicago supposedly had a better defense. Chicago supposedly had a better offensive line. And this offensive line for Washington showed out and did its thing. Brian Robinson did its thing. You got Scary Terry doing his thing. And then Zach Ertz is having a resurgence of a career. My man got to Washington, and he's balling like it's 2015. I'm with it. I'm excited to see what happens with the Washington-Philly game. We're going to get into that game. But first, we gotta look at who they're going to be playing, which is the Eagles. I thought this was probably the best game. Now the Baltimore the Ravens Bills game was good, but we're going to get into that game next. But when you look at the Eagles, and I think this is the difference between the Eagles and Baltimore now, is the Eagles relied on what they do, and that's give Saquon Barkley the ball. Okay. Saquon Barkley broke the Eagles' playoff rushing record in a game. He ended the game with 205 yards. Even with Hurts looking like he hurt his knee, he left for a short period of time, came back with a brace, but it looked like it bothered him late in the game. He looked like he was having trouble moving. There was some sacks that the Rams were able to get late in the game because it looked like he was struggling. They had got a safety at one point in the game, which was big to their chances of coming back, and he just didn't look comfortable. So we'll see how that affects him moving forward going into the Washington game. But it was turnovers. Turnovers killed the Rams. Williams, 2 fumbles. You can't do that. You cannot have, fumbles that are going to, or he had 1 fumble. I'm sorry. The other fumble was a bad exchange from Matthew Stafford, but you cannot turn the ball over like this and expect to beat a Philadelphia Eagles team at home. You're not going to be able to do that. The Rams offense really struggled putting it together early. We saw them kind of not really get it together. And honestly, it was really just scoring. They were able to move the ball. Matthew Stafford, 26 of 44, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns. They ran the ball for, 111 yards. It was just the turnovers. And they were able to get a score late, got close. And hey, first team in NFL history to have back-to-back games with at least 7 sacks. They had 9 in the previous week. They had 7 tonight. That defensive line is scary. Frisk was hurt. He didn't come back, so I think that was a big loss for them. But Versus is a problem. And if you don't think so, you need to go watch this kid. He's something else. He had 2 sacks of his own. He had 4 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss. 2 quarterback hits. The kid is, he's obviously going to be the defensive player of the year, or the defensive rookie of the year. So it will be interesting to see what this Rams team does going in to next year. It was just I think when it comes to the Rams, it was just too little, too late. Tried to get in and get the late touchdown, and it was just a bad throw with like 26 seconds left. I think it was like 4th and 11. Kind of a bad throw to Puka. He never really had a chance to get it, and that Philly defense stood strong. And here we are. Now we're going to talk about it, baby. We have a NFC East clash for the NFC title. Philly versus Washington. Super excited. They split the series in the regular season. Washington won the last one. And when you're looking at this game now, Washington's starting guard, right guard is out. And you have 2 or 3 Eagles players that are now out. So it'll be a different game. But Jaden Daniels is going to be the person that determines this game. We got to look and see what the knee injury is with Jalen Hurts. And we have to see if they can get A.J. Brown involved. I do think it's going to be pivotal for A.J. Brown to get involved in the game plan in order for them to beat Washington, because Washington is going to score points. Washington put up 45 points on a good defense, on a good Detroit defense. Now, I get it. Ravaged with injury, right? I understand that. But they went into Detroit's building and beat them and put up 45 points on them. So I think that this is going to be a very good game. This is the game I'm most excited for. I'm kind of done with Allen versus Mahomes and all of that, but this game it screams competitiveness. Jaden Daniels has not blinked since he entered the league. He has not backed down from a challenge. He has come back. He has thrown Hail Marys. He has won, and he has looked like a vet doing it. Jaden Daniels has looked so good doing this that it's unreal. It really is. And I'm so excited to see him play in this game. I hope he wins. I got a lot of friends that are Eagles fans. My boy Tony is an Eagles fan. I love y'all. I do, but I'm riding with my boy Jaden Daniels from LSU. We're going to get into the picks for this game a little later, but this game is going to be so much fun. It really is. Saquon Barkley is going to probably try to run his ass off. It's going to be a good matchup between him and Bobby Wagner. Mitchell is going to be interesting. Hopefully he's healthy. He got a little banged up. I'm interested to see him against Terry McLaurin. I'm interested to see Blankenship against Zach Ertz, which is probably what we'll see. And then that Philly defensive line led by Carter is just really, really good. And if anything, I think Washington needs to go and watch this game against the Rams, because the way to counteract that Philly offense or defensive line is to keep going. Use tempo. Don't give them time to, get a break. Don't give them time to substitute. Just keep going. And Jaden Daniels in that offense is really made to do that. So I'm just super excited for that game. The game that I'm pretty sure a lot of people think was the game of the week was Buffalo versus Baltimore. What can we say? Is it Lamar? Can Lamar just not get it done when the lights shine the brightest? And people are going to say, oh, well, it wasn't really Lamar. It was everybody else. But no, Lamar threw an early pick. Lamar, I get he tried to do his best, but I think the problem here is Baltimore did exactly what they did last year. You went out and got Derrick Henry. He rushed for almost 2,000 yards in the regular season. He rushed for 186 yards last week against Pittsburgh. And then this week, you only rush him 16 times. Why? You get down into the red zone, into the 3, into the 4, and you don't give him the ball. What are we doing? What are you doing? You made the same mistakes this year that you made last year. And guess what? You had the same outcome. You're going home before the Super Bowl. You go out and sign potentially the greatest running back of all time, and you give him the ball 16 times. I don't get it. And then you got Mark Andrews, and actually pause on Mark Andrews. We'll go back a little bit, back to Derrick Henry. He missed a catch earlier, but it was a badly underthrown ball by Lamar. Okay. Lamar looked like at times he was just run. Again, I don't understand the purpose of, you ran Lamar 6 times for 40 yards, 39 to be exact. Run him. Like, what are you saving him for next week? If you lose, there is no next week. So again, you get to this game by being a overpowering run offense. The conditions match what you want to do, and you don't do that. And then you got Mark Andrews, who, I want to say this now, tight ends. Stop trying to be shifty wide receivers. You're not that. That Mark Andrews fumble would not have happened if he would have just caught the ball and got down. You got the first down, get down. You did your job. Stop trying to do extra. And then the other fumble late in the game. Again, the ball, y'all have the ball way too far out. Like, I'm not sure what it is y'all are doing. I don't get it. And you can't make those kind of mistakes and beat a team like Buffalo. And then you have at one point, you could have kicked the field goal. That way, when you scored your last touchdown, all you needed was a field goal to tie the game. But you didn't do that. And then you got Mark Andrews dropping the ball. All he had to do was catch it and fall into the end zone. But he dropped it. Mark Andrews don't ever drop the ball. So I think that whole team choked in the brightest light. I do. I think that the defense was unable to come up with turnovers. I think that, when you lose the turnover battle, you're going to lose the game. And then when your star players don't make plays, you're going to lose the game. So unfortunately, Lamar is going to catch the grief for this. And part of it he should, because he turned the ball over. He made mistakes. And again, we're sitting here at the end of the year, like we always are, talking about the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson not being able to get it done. I had made a comment last week about Justin Herbert being overrated. And people flooded the comments on our TikTok channel, a few people in defense of Justin Herbert. And I had said that calling him overrated because he was catching all of this praise but not producing anything. I'm not going to say Lamar Jackson is overrated because he's got MVPs and he's got seasons that Justin Herbert doesn't have. But when are we going to start saying that in order for us to talk about these guys in the light of some of the best of the generation, you got to start winning, right? You have to start winning. At some point, Patrick Mahomes can't be the only consistent winner. So, I mean, Lamar, you got to use your legs. You have to use your legs. And offensive coordinator, what are you doing? You ran Derrick Henry 16 times. You ran Lamar Jackson 6 times in a snowy game. That spelled run game, but you didn't do that. Now, Josh Allen had a great game. Josh Allen went 16 of 22, 127 yards, real productive. sense the sarcasm there, but he did what he needed to do. Okay? He didn't have to be Superman here. He didn't have to do everything himself. He ran for 20 yards. James Cook gave him 67 yards. I mean, this was a complete team win. And I'm going to say this. It was a complete team win, but Baltimore gave y'all that game. You won the turnover battle 3-0, and you only won by 2 points. Baltimore gave y'all that game. Hey, you won. Congratulations. You're going to the AFC Championship game, and you now get to face Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But don't think for 1 second that Baltimore did not give y'all this game. I did not get this one right. I did not get I got the Eagles game right. I went 2 for 2. I got the Eagles and I got the Chiefs. I missed Baltimore and I missed Detroit. I called Detroit and I called Baltimore. They were all good games, so 2 for 2 ain't bad. Let's get into the AFC Championship game. A rematch. We have seen this. I mean, we've seen this story, I feel like 6 or 7 times now. I feel like every AFC is coming down to Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs had to knock some rust off this week. I think they did that, but I also think that if they're going to get help from the refs, that it doesn't matter. I don't think we should even play the game if we're going to get the same nonsense next week that we got this week. And I stand on that because it's ridiculous. So I think the refs need to do better. The crew chief, I cannot remember his name from the Kansas City game. I am so tired of seeing him do Kansas City games because every time he is the crew chief for a Kansas City game, they win. That's not just a coincidence, right? That's not a coincidence. But looking at it per the game, I do like Buffalo. I like the way Buffalo's defense with Milano, Miller, I love the way that they're flying around. I get that Kansas City's got some good defenders as well with Duffy, Chris Jones. I'm aware of that. I think Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are kind of very similar. They make a lot of plays. They're hard to bring down. They're always looking to take advantage of the defense's missed opportunities. So go ahead and give me the Bills. I'm taking the Bills. I'm tired of Kansas City. I'm tired of Patrick Mahomes. I do not want to see Taylor Swift in a fucking Super Bowl. So give me the Buffalo Bills. All right? My man Adam, Chris, I got a few Buffalo Bills fans. I'm picking this one for y'all. Okay? So I'm looking at a Buffalo. Oh, I didn't pick. That's right. Buffalo's gonna represent the AFC. I want Washington so bad. I want Washington so bad. And I think if Jalen Hurts is not 100% with the defensive injuries that Philly has had over the last few weeks, I think they could do it. And it's a divisional game. You never know. Everything goes out the window with a divisional game. This is the rubber match for the year. I'm taking the underdog. Give me the rookie Jaden Daniels to be the first ever rookie quarterback to play in a Super Bowl. Give me a Washington Commanders and a Buffalo Bills Super Bowl. Y'all heard it right here on the Full Blitz Podcast. Okay, right here. And if y'all haven't already, head over to that YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're following us here on TikTok and Instagram. Again, we have a Facebook page coming soon where y'all can check out all of our content and videos. My small businesses, email right here. Make sure that you get us your information so we can get you that free advertisement. Guys, it's almost over. Football season is almost over. When it's over, we're going to start jumping into basketball, and we're going to start getting into some non-sports stuffs like we did at the beginning of the show. We're going to get into movies, music, just kind of spread it out. That way y'all all can feel the love. We've been here at the Full Blitz. We have been contemplating bringing on a co-host. Just another voice, another person for y'all to relate to and kind of, get to enjoy. If y'all want to see us bring a co-host in, drop a comment, let us know. Yes, no, maybe so. Maybe we'll run 30 people through here and see who y'all like the best. We'll do live auditions.
Some guest hosts. Also guests coming up, right?
Yeah, we have some guests coming up. So we have an artist, is a friend of ours, but he's a artist out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Tony, he's a good friend of ours, good sports guy. He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So he is going to be a guest host coming up in the hopefully the next week or so. We're going to make sure that we have everything together so the production is as clean as always for y'all. And then, hopefully we can get some more guests on here and get things, kind of moving. But one of the things that that I think is wild, speaking of moving, when you die, you stop moving, right? Right? Would you say that's a fair assessment? Well, apparently not. And I'm explaining this to you in this week's Ain't No Way story.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so this week on Ain't No Way, this is coming courtesy of, where are we coming out of? This is coming out of Gaithersburg, Maryland, okay? Woman surprised after being declared dead. I'm going to read that again for y'all.
What?
Woman surprised after being declared dead. All right? A woman has spoken of her anguish after she was mistakenly declared dead.
Oh, she's suing somebody. She's trying to get some bread. She said anguish.
Nicole I'm not going to say your last name, baby, because I don't want to mess it up. Of Gaithersburg in Maryland made the discovery after applying to renew her driver's license. She said she was left frightened and surprised as a text informing her she was officially dead popped up in the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration System.
What? And she's standing there.
She's standing there. So they go on.
I want to know what the DMV worker looked like.
Officials informed Miss Pauliona she could not renew her license before she received a letter from the U.S. IRS describing her as a deceased taxpayer.
I mean, that could work to your benefit. I mean, if her credit was jacked up,
So it's crazy. That's because crazy. Apparently,
how does that even happen?
What's crazy about this is it doesn't even really say. It just talks about all of the Social Security services, but apparently, on paper, she's a zombie because.
So did somebody steal her identity and then died?
It doesn't say. It's crazy.
Strange. How could that happen?
So
what state was this in?
Maryland. Health insurance for the mother and her 3 children was canceled, prompting a stream of medical bills and leaving her unable to get the inhaler she needed for her asthma.
Oh
so I guess this messed with her insurance and everything.
Well, yeah, if you're dead, you ain't got coverage.
Oh, here we go. According to a representative, a funeral home tried to report someone else dead, but got a digit wrong in her Social Security number, submitting Poliano's number instead. The Social Security Administration told NBC4 Washington its records were highly accurate and that less than 0.33% of the more than 3 million death reports they received annually were later corrected. First off, how is any of this happening? How are there any mistakes?
That's a huge mistake. Imagine though. I mean, I'm sure she's gonna get some bread from the state.
I mean, she's got to. I mean, her insurance,
anguish.
Does she have to start all over again? Like if that's it,
I mean, they should listen. If that's the case, they should wipe all her shit.
All
if
of
it's
it.
Negative anyway. At least
All
not
of it.
wipe the negative shit. Be like, yo, listen, our bad.
You died.
You died. Cool story, you know. But
Coming back to life present, your credit score is a 750. We got you.
Right, just give her an 8 on it.
Just yeah.
What's the max? 850?
Like 820, 850, something like that.
850?
I don't know. I'm nowhere near
Give her
it.
a
So
perfect score. Poor lady. How old is she?
it didn't say. Well, she's a couple of days old. You know, she just died.
Oh well, yeah. She a newborn.
she just died.
Oh man.
I mean, so Paleoni told NBC4 Washington that following their inquiry, she received a letter from the Social Security Administration saying that the mistake had been corrected and that she was officially alive again. Because her being alive wasn't enough proof that that's the nonsense that is this country. You got to get a letter from the Social Security office.
That is so crazy.
I wonder if they issued her a new Social Security number.
I mean, you would have to, right?
I would hope so.
How does that even work?
Is there when if you go to apply for a new credit card, right? Is there like an asterisk next to your Social Security once was dead? Like
right.
How does that work?
Yeah, if it's a new Social Security, then there is nothing on the history, right?
There's
so it's
nothing
like a new
there.
credit.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Look.
I would be. What would you do if you walked into the bank trying to get some bread out, and they're like, "I'm sorry, sir,
You're
says
dead?
Here, you're deceased."
Oh, I'd start biting the hell out of everybody. I would
Biting people.
biting.
That's
Could you
not gonna
imagine?
help.
They say that I'm dead, right? And then my big ass just runs around and starts biting the shit out of everybody.
And also, did that trigger an insurance policy or something? Like, there's so many questions. That's crazy.
So many
That's
questions.
a huge mistake.
Because what
Maryland.
if she had life insurance?
Right. Would that trigger?
They technically declared her.
Did somebody get how does that work?
She's just hanging out and she gets a fucking check in the mail for $500,000 because her insurance policy was claimed.
They might as well just be like, listen, just keep the bread. Here's his 850 credit score. Let's just act like this didn't happen.
I saw
Let's
that.
just act
I was
like
just
this
like,
didn't happen.
I hope, like, I really do hope that this did not, like, screw this woman's life up. But I'm scrolling through the stories,
hopefully.
and I'm just like, woman surprised to be declared dead. I'm like, what the kind of nonsense is that? It was wild.
That's sick, man.
That
ain't
is,
no way.
but there ain't no way. That
You know what's worse than that, though?
what you got?
Getting buried alive.
I don't even want to think about that. That's like my one. Nah.
People get sent to morgues and they're still alive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, so here's a history thing for y'all, right? This is one of the few
Imagine
things about
waking up in
history
a coffin.
that I have learned. Way back in the day, like the 1700s, like Jack the Ripper time in England, when they would bury people, they would bury you with a string in the coffin that would go up and attach to a bell, because there were so many situations where they buried people alive, and they would ring the bell and they would like.
I heard of a guy making his doing that. I didn't know it was like a common thing, but I have heard of this one guy back in the day who was like super paranoid. He had like this fear of getting buried alive. So
it was a common thing.
He made his coffin like with a glass window, so you can look down at his body, and then there was a string attached to a bell.
Yeah, and there was a this was in Ireland, and I absolutely loved this. But there was a guy that died, and in his will, he had I guess he had it written in somewhere that one of his friends would put a speaker in the coffin with him, and as it was being lowered down, he would hit play, and it was the guy pre-recorded saying, "Hey guys, I'm still alive in here."
I think I saw that video. That's
Like,
sick, man. I wouldn't want to do it. Would you do any of that?
Hell
I
yeah.
know we don't have to talk about our funerals, but
Oh, absolutely.
I don't think I would do something. That's too much, man.
So-
I'd be thinking about my mother, my poor mom. I'd be like, I'm not gonna do that.
What
to
I
mom.
want,
I gotta do that.
and this, I got this from a friend of mine in the military, and I absolutely love it, and I want this done. Whenever I die, however the connection of me and the people is, but I want 2 people to dress up as the Grim Reaper and just like show up. Just show up at my funeral with like dressed as the
Just
Grim
chill
Reaper.
there, like sobbing, like mourning.
No,
like
just
a
like
cloak, or just
like
stand in the
Grim
back?
Reaper status. Just
like
like
stand in the back
just
with a scythe.
yeah, like absolutely.
That's crazy.
Got to.
Well, I don't. I got some. I mean, I'm sticking to the sci-fi theme of the show. You know, UFO news.
I'm always down for UFO news.
There was a new whistleblower came forward.
Oh shit!
Yesterday, I think, or today, with a new video of apparently it's supposed to be an egg-shaped UFO. It looks ridiculous, but you know, new guy came out. There's another story.
Well, I mean, so our government already told us that aliens are real, right? Like we
yeah.
We know this now. You know what's
They've
crazy?
admitted that they have craft that are not of this world, whatever.
You know what's so
whatever
funny
that means.
is I love that because I remember when all of that happened. It was earlier or last year, and we as the American people could have gave a shit less. Like
It was interesting how everybody was just like, all right.
yeah, we were so
It's because
desensitized.
the videos that came out are not 4K. Like, you can't see anything. They're like videos from a radar or whatever thermal camera on a jet that's flying
Now,
1,000
you
miles
wanna-
an hour.
You want to talk about something that the American people might be interested in? Trump just today said that he is going to release the government documents on the JFK murder or assassination, the Martin Luther King assassination, which no disrespect to JFK, but that's the one I'm interested. That's the one I'm interested in hearing. But yeah, man, you know, he
Government's done some shady stuff. We'll see. I don't know, man. We'll see. Didn't he say that the first time he ran?
yeah, but I mean,
And he said this weird, eerie quote. He was like, if you saw what I saw, you wouldn't release it either.
look,
Like,
all I know
what does that
is
mean?
I'm so excited because he knows this is it. This is his 4 years.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think
it.
he's going balls to the wall, man.
He's finna
going
go.
all the
He's
way.
finna go ham. And I
He
don't know if I'm
talking
gonna
about
like all
buying
of it.
Iceland and snatching up Canada, like the Canadian, what is it, Prime Minister stepped down? What's his name?
Bro. When I heard
He
him
going to war.
say he wants to try to buy Greenland. He wants to. Or was it Iceland? It was one of them. It was one of
It's
them.
Greenland.
It's Greenland, and then he wants to buy Canada. Bro, what is you talking about?
He's wilding.
Like
He's
neither
changing
one
the
of
Gulf
those
of
people.
Mexico to the Gulf of America.
Gulf of America.
He's just bugging, yo.
Like,
He's
he just-
wilding.
yo.
It's hilarious, actually.
I mean, I mean,
What
first
do you
off,
think about this all this UFO stuff going on? Like what just happened in like New Jersey with
with the
a bunch
drones.
of strange drones, yeah.
Yeah, I
flying
mean,
around.
I think that one, as an educated human being, I think that we have got to be insane to think that we're the only living beings in this vast infinity of the universe.
There's a lot out there.
If that's what it is, but I mean, but what is an alien? Like, what do we? In all honesty, a jellyfish is an alien. You know, it's from a different world. You know, it's on the same planet, but that is a different world. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, imagine how many different things there are down in the Mariana Trench that we have no idea about. You know what I'm saying?
Probably aliens.
Probably aliens. You get me? Like,
Yeah.
why can't we go to Antarctica? You know, like
That's a good question.
why can't we go to the polar caps and like what's going on over there? What are y'all doing? You know,
What do you think they're doing?
I don't know. Like part of me believes that there's I don't know if you've heard of the theory, but the 7 ring theory is like
No.
when they
What's
talk
this?
about outer space, they're actually talking about the reason they don't want us to go into Antarctica is because Antarctica is the beginning of the ice wall that we're in, and then there's another
Oh, you
ring.
believe in the ice wall?
I mean,
Do you
I don't know if I
that the
believe
Earth
in
is
it.
Flat?
No, the Earth ain't flat. That's fucking
You think
stupid.
there's an ice wall? Well, that's a part of the flat Earth thing. I think it's like there's an ice
is it?
wall
Well,
on
if
the
that's a
edge.
part of it, then never mind. It's some shit that I've
Yeah.
heard. You know,
Yeah,
like,
the ice wall. You think there's an
Hey.
ice wall?
look, we can't go to Antarctica. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
we can. Who said we can't? People are there right now.
I mean, they got research people there, but like, you can't just take a holiday to fucking Antarctica.
Yes, you can.
No, they got
think you can.
they got
They
the
got tours.
Antarctica Treaty or whatever that says we ain't allowed to go there unless it's for like research purposes.
But like, you can go as like, I'm sure, like a tour. They've been.
Oh, yeah,
they've
I'm
had,
sure you
like,
can go to, like-
documentaries.
Yeah.
Documentaries of people that went and like looked at like all the research stuff. You know, it's. I feel you though.
But then they
It's
got a
just
spot.
dangerous. I think it's
They-
just it's just hard to get to.
They got a little flag that you're like, you can't go past this flag. Like,
Right. What's
just-
over there?
what's over there? You know, that's like if you from
Yeah.
New Orleans, there's a spot on Bourbon Street you don't go by. You're like, well, what's over there? You know,
You've been by it?
I have not.
Yeah, there's definitely too much. I think that there's way too much out there to not believe that there's some aliens. Now, are they
Facts.
among us? Where do they come from?
Yeah, like
I
I'm
don't
not.
know.
I'm not
Like,
gonna
I
sit
don't know
here.
about all that.
I'm not gonna sit here and say we got like some Men in Black type situation going on, even though I think that's very possible. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think that so if we are to believe what we know of aliens, they're wildly advanced and wildly intelligent beings from wherever. I think that aliens probably came to Earth 30 years ago and were like, yo, these motherfuckers are stupid as hell. There ain't no need to come back here. We don't need to
30
destroy
years
them.
ago?
But man, they could have been
Well,
here
what if-
yesterday.
What about like Roswell?
That's what I
That
mean.
was in the 40s, right?
That was the 40s, you know. So what probably happened was they came for Roswell, right? And shit happened. That's why we got the spaceships and everything. And then they tried to come back, and they were like, they're still killing themselves. There's no need for us to be here. Like, we can come
I
back
think
in
that
200
they're-
years.
Man, I think they're from here, man. I think they live under the earth,
Under the earth.
in the ocean. They keep saying they keep seeing them going into the ocean and out of the ocean.
I
A
mean,
lot
I
of
can
these,
see that.
like, sightings are like in the ocean.
Bro, what did they say? Like, so water covers what, like 80% of the planet? And
I think it's something like that. 70.
we've
80%.
only discovered like 10%. Like we've only explored like 10%.
10%.
So when
of the
you
oceans.
think of that, like, I challenge all of our
There could be something
listeners.
down there. You were just talking
Go-
about the Mariana Trench. I mean, there
Yeah.
could be something down there.
Go to your beach, right, wherever you at. If you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or whatever, and just look out to the water. Don't look out to the water to relax, but just look out to see as far as you can see, and imagine there is a whole fucking world under there that we know nothing about. Like,
Yeah. Like some real Avatar.
for real. Like,
Stuff.
there's a whole world under there that we don't know nothing about.
Well, yeah, I think that was kind of crazy. The video looks ridiculous.
It looks a little shoddy.
I
Well, look.
mean, you know.
So y'all tell us what y'all think. Are there aliens? Are there not aliens? If you think there are, what is this? Is this the video?
So this is screenshots from the video. It's being hung by
That's a clam.
so it's a helicopter pilot. I mean, why the eerie music? That's it. What like that's the video they dropped. Like what? What
that looks
what
like
do we do with that?
That looks like a fishing pole.
It looks like
to
an
pick
actual
up-
egg. An
Yeah.
actual egg. Like, first of all, there's so many things about this video.
You know what's
But
crazy?
that's what
Somebody
they try to release, saying so the new whistleblower was a helicopter pilot, and so he was saying that he transported one of these things on the end of whatever that was connected to the helicopter, and that's
Are
what
we
that video
serious?
was from the helicopter. This was an actual story. He is on national TV. It's a new UAP alien whistleblower
Okay, so look,
guy.
Louis, this is what you got to do. Okay, get on your computer and put some shit together.
I could
I'm
do
sure,
that,
because
for
I'm sure
sure.
you could put something together that looks better than that.
It looks like someone tied an actual egg onto a string and dropped it down.
You give
like
you
it
give
looks
me a
so
video.
stupid.
You get me a video, and I will wear a tinfoil fucking hat, and I will tell
I'll
people
make a video better than that.
that I will tell people that I have found aliens in
I don't
the
know, man.
country of Alabama, and
It looks
when you
crazy.
when you
And it's
yell
supposed to
at
be a
them,
helicopter. How come there's no sand? There's no dust whirling around. It's
that is
like,
the
what?
calmest.
None of
That
it
is
makes
the
sense.
calmest area I have ever
It's
seen
so-
around a helicopter.
Yeah. So, but
That's
that happened, and
ridiculous.
everybody's like, "What?" Yeah. So that's my ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way that's an alien spaceship.
Ain't no damn way. Well, look, guys,
That's crazy.
we appreciate all the love and the support. Keep rocking with us. We only getting better. We fitting to start having a lot of fun. We're gonna start having guests. We're really gonna start putting this thing to it. And and if you haven't already, head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow us here on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere else that you can get your podcasts at. And we'll rock with y'all next week.
Yeah. Holla,
All
holla,
right,
holla,
y'all.
holla, holla.
Fucking love it. Love it.
Boom.